Hey guys, how's it going? This is Mike from M&R Automotive. Today we have a brand new 2025 Toyota 4Runner. We've installed two 11.5-inch light bars. First thing we have to do is remove the top plastic trim pieces. So all these clips, you have to actually push on top of them to disconnect them. So I'm just pressing on all the heads. We're going to do the intake first. Awesome. So this is the intake. We're going to put it to the side. So now we're going to do the rest. I'm going to use a screwdriver and just press on all the clips. And we can go ahead and lift it up and put it to the side as well. Alright, next thing we're going to loosen these three 10mm bolts. While we're on top, there's three harnesses we have to disconnect. There's two on the passenger side and one on driver. Alright, so there's one gray one here. And I'm just going to press on the tab and lift it up. That's one. So on the passenger side, these are the lever style. So you're going to go ahead and prop this and drop the lever down. And that's going to remove the harness. And same thing on this side, you have to squeeze it. It's going to release the lever. Push on the lever to press it down. And that's going to unhook the socket. So now we're going to loosen these fender flares. So now with these clips, we're going to turn them in the vertical position. And I'm going to pry them out. There's one. There's two. Alright, excellent. Let's do the same thing on the passenger side. So now let's do the same thing. So same thing with these two plastic clips. We're just going to unclip them. And make sure that the inner liner is free. Alright, so now we're going to remove two 10mm screws here. And by removing those, this whole mat is detached. Alright, so now we're going to remove the two inner 10mm screws. I had to leave the ratchet. It wouldn't fit in here. So I grabbed the hand tool. So you just have to loosen it, and then you can do the rest with your fingers. Or you can just use a ratchet, like a hand ratchet. Alright, that's one. And the second one's here. Then let's hop on the passenger side. These are the two that we're going to be removing. And this is all free. Let's see what else is holding this up. So now we're going to unclip the fender flares. I'm just going to grab it and just pry it away. There we go. And there's one bolt that we're going to remove here. So same thing on the driver's side. Just unclip this, pry it from the actual fender. And there's one 10mm bolt on the side. So now I'm going to wedge a tool. It's a plastic tool so it won't scratch anything. And you're just trying to separate, unclip the fender from the bumper. And when you pull it, you can see it unclips here. So I'm going to use a plastic trim piece removal just to separate the bumper from the fender and pull on it. And that's going to unclip it. So now I'm going to go ahead and lift on the top tabs and pull forward. You can either have the slim version of the light bars or you can have the Pro. It's the same install and the same wiring. First I'm going to show you how to install the slim version and then we'll do the Pro as well. So the factory bolts that we're going to be reusing are, this is on the outside, this is on the inside, and this is on the inside of the passenger side, and this is on the outside of the passenger side. Alright, so let's go ahead and take all four out. So with the M&R kit, you're going to get two light bars. You're going to get a total of 4 brackets. There's 2 brackets that are on the passenger side and 2 brackets that are on the driver's side. It's easier to attach the brackets to the light bar first, and then we'll attach it onto the bumper. When installing the light bars, make sure that the wiring is on the inside so it's easier to fuse together. I'm going to start on the driver's side first. Notice that the large bracket has its flap going down when installing to the light bar, but the smaller bracket is going to be facing up. So we're going to install the large one first, and that flap is facing towards the front of the vehicle. I'm going to use an Allen tool in order to attach it. And the small flap on the driver's side is going to be facing towards the back of the vehicle. So this is going to be the assembly on the driver's side. notice the large flap is facing forward, but the small flap is facing backwards. So now we're going to do the same thing with the passenger. I'm going to get the large flap first. That one's facing towards the front of the vehicle. And we'll do the small one, and that one's facing the back of the vehicle. Perfect. So this is the passenger side. Now I got the driver's side assembly, and I'm going to align the holes of the brackets with the holes of the bumper. And we're going to reuse those factory bolts. That's one. And that's two. And we're going to do the same thing on the passenger side. We're going to slide the bracket and reuse the factory hardware. So when you finish installing the assemblies, you can still adjust the angles up and down to make sure they fit the opening of the grill. I'm going to go ahead and drop this one a little bit lower. I'm going to loosen the nut, drop it to my liking, and then I'm going to tighten it. And I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to loosen the nut, align it with the opening. Okay. All right, so now let's see how it looks. If it's nicely aligned, we can continue with the install. And if it's not, we can still mess around with it. What do you guys think? So now I'm going to install the pros. So I'm going to grab the driver's side bracket with the flap towards the front of the light. And I'm going to put the side on using the provided hardware. So each side gets 2 bolts and 2 washers. Now I'm going to grab the small driver's side bracket, and instead of it pointing forward, it's going to point backwards. So let's do the same thing on the other light bar. Also keep in mind that the wiring of the light bar, we want them in the center, so that way it's easier to fuse the 2 light bar wires together. So I'm going to attach the large bracket. The tab is facing forward. And the small passenger side bracket, the tab is going to be facing backwards instead of forwards. So now we're going to reuse the factory bolts that we removed in the previous step to attach the light assemblies to the bumper. So next steps to make sure that the light bars are aligned. Mine aren't. So I'm going to loosen these 2 bolts and I'm going to slide it slightly lower, following the opening in the grill to make sure they're aligned and leveled. Okay, this is much better. So let's take a look how it looks. So this looks really good. It looks nice and level. So now we can continue the next step. We're going to tighten all the bolts. Perfect. Now we're ready for wiring. So the light bars come with 3 wires. You have a red wire, which is the main power to the main function, which is powerful white light. You have the white wire, which is the power for the amber DRL. And you have a black wire for the ground. So the light bars come with about 2 feet of wire. We're going to fuse the same colors together, and we're going to install a wire extension to get to a power source. So I'm going to fuse 2 white wires together. I'm going to fuse 2 red wires together. And I'm going to fuse 2 black wires together. So now that we have both light bars fused, we're going to use the provided extension harness to fuse the same colors. So I'm going to go the black to black, which is going to be our ground, and I'm going to crimp them. I'm going to do the same thing to the white wire, which is the power for amber DRL. And I'm going to do the same thing for a red wire, which is the power to the main function, powerful white light. I like to double crimp my wires to make sure they're nice and snug, and pull on them to make sure you have a nice crimp. I'm going to apply heat to these shrink connectors, and that's going to make them waterproof. And we're going to zip tie this harness to the bumper. I'm going to zip tie it to the original harness because the power source is going to be on the passenger side. We're going to route it through the passenger side as well. So I'm going to grab a couple zip ties. Let me clip off the ends. Now let's get the grill back on the truck. So now that we have the wire in the engine bay, now it's time to provide power to these 2 functions. If your vehicle is equipped with auxiliary switches, you can connect the light bar harness directly to it. If your vehicle is not equipped with factory auxiliary switches, such as the one we're working on now, we're going to use the M&R wireless wiring harness 2.0. Let me show you how to assemble it. You get your operation manual, you get your stickers for the wireless remote. There's a remote, there's the actual controller, a magnetic pad for the remote. You use the 3M tape to put this pad in somewhere inside the cab, and then it'll just stick and then create a base for the remote. You get some mounting zip ties, and we get a bag of hardware. You get a master fuse, and this is 100 amp. You get a fuse holder, and when you take the cover off, that's where we're gonna connect the master power wire. So let's go ahead and connect the fuse. I'm gonna go ahead and unscrew these 2 bolts. Take off the top washer. I'm gonna go ahead and slide the fuse here. And we're gonna also connect the 2 terminals. So inside the baggie you get 2 red wires. This is going to be our power wires. You get a ground wire. Also get an ACC wire. It's an optional feature. We're actually not going to use this ACC wire for this project because the fuse size is different, so we're going to put it away. So now that we're installing the master fuse for the fuse box, we're going to go ahead and connect the 2 power wires, one on each side. We're going to use the washer and the nut that we previously removed. On the second end, we do the same thing. We're going to connect the terminal. We're going to put a washer, a lock washer, and a nut. One end inside the box, one end to the battery, and there's a fuse in the middle. So let me show you how to connect this wire into this box. Let's go ahead and take off the 4 bolts. And if you look inside, there's a battery plus and a battery minus tag. So the red wire is going to go to the battery plus. We're going to unscrew this. I'm going to slide the terminal underneath it like that, and we can tighten it. Now that the positive is ready, we're going to do the same thing for the ground. It's a small terminal here. So now we have this unit assembled, and we can connect it to the battery of the truck. So now that we have the wireless 2.0 module assembled and we're in the engine bay, I'm going to go ahead and mount it on top of this cover. It doesn't have to be drilled down. You can actually zip tie it to any stationary part. It just has to be stable. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to drill through. There's 2 little spots here. Don't go too deep because there's fuses on the bottom. I'm just pretty much going to mark it so that way we know how to drill through it to the spot where we want it. So now that we have the 2 holes drilled out, we can use the supplied hardware to secure them together. All right, on the bottom you have the nuts for those bolts. So now with the 8mm, I can tighten this down. So now I'll make sure that if these bolts are too deep, they don't touch any of the fuses, because if they do, we can either cut them or just get smaller bolts. So now it's nice and stationary, and we can connect our lights to it. Let's go ahead and provide a power and a ground. So I'm going to get to the battery. I'm going to go ahead and use a 10mm bolt. We're going to use this one on the side. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and loosen the terminal. We're going to slide the power wire, and I'm going to go ahead and tighten it. So now the ground we're going to get from the negative terminal of the battery. I'm going to slide this terminal in, and we're going to tighten it. So one thing you're going to notice, there's a little green light that's going to turn on, and by it being on, that's how you know it's getting power and it's grounded. So now we can connect our lights to it. Let's go ahead and connect the 2 power wires to the module. So I'm going to slip them under the module because there's going to be a cover on top. So then the white wire is going to be channel 7, and then the red wire we're going to put on channel number 3. So I'm going to loosen the terminal on channel number 3. We're going to slide our power wire through it, and I'm going to tighten it. Same thing for the DRL on number 7. I'm going to slide it under the terminal and tighten it. So that leaves us with only one more light bar wire. We have the black wire. We're going to put an eyelet on it, and that's going to be our ground. And we're going to ground it on the negative terminal of the battery. There's a 12mm bolt that we're going to remove. We're going to slide the terminal over the contact, and we're going to reinstall it. Perfect. Now we can go ahead and test the light bar. Now let me show you the slim line. Here's a powerful white light. Looks really good and puts out plenty of light. and let me show you the Amber DRL. The cool part about the Amber DRL is that you can drive legally on the road. It doesn't blind oncoming traffic because it's a low intensity amber light. It more acts of like a backlighting or daytime running light. Now let me show you the Pro light bars. With one button, we turn on the powerful white light, and with another button, we turn on the amber backglow. So both the Slim and the Pro light bar, they sit very neatly right behind the grill. They look factory. You can't go wrong with either the Slim or the Pro version. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and got the confidence that you need to install this product yourself. I know you guys are going to absolutely love it.